There are UN conventions that defend the rights of women, children, people with disabilities, and other groups at risk. But did you know that there's no legal framework that specifically protects older people's rights? Abuse and discrimination against older people are often overlooked. We want to see a UN convention that safeguards older people's rights, including their rights to dignity and security, and stops them being sidelined by governments and by their communities. The Forgotten Convention. Amnesty International advocating for the rights of older people.
Stereotypically, older persons are seen as weak and forgetful. They are perceived as being sick and not easy to get along with. Older persons face isolation because people don't think they are interesting.
The world is aging fast. By 2050, more than 1.6 billion of the global population will be over 65. One day, this will affect all of us.
When I talk about the rights of older persons, I'm talking about the rights of my children. It is not just about myself. It is about looking forward to age with dignity.
Why do we need a UN convention? A UN convention on the rights of older persons would be a key step in securing those rights, to make sure older people receive the support they need or enable them to continue their working lives. A convention would make them more visible and raise global awareness of their rights. It would recognize particular violations and neglect that older people face because of their age and set out what countries must do to respect their rights. Countries that ratified the treaty would have to strengthen their legal protections for older people. What does older mean? That depends on the context. It could be 50 or 80. It's about how people are seen in the community and how they see themselves.
There is a convention for the rights of children. There's a convention for women. Why should the older people not have a convention and have the same benefits and the privileges that the other groups have?
Older people are at higher risk in times of conflict. Amnesty International has uncovered abuses in many of the countries we've worked in. People over 50 were the most likely to be killed during the assault on Rohingya villages in Myanmar in 2017.
When many people have to flee the burning villages and the bombings, many older people have not been able to run and escape, and a number of older people who have died are much more than the other age groups.
In Nigeria, older men have been the most likely to die in military detention during the armed conflict with Boko Haram. Despite older people being disproportionately affected by conflict, their rights and needs are often not considered in humanitarian response.
Мені 77 років. Одинока жінка, яка втратила сім'ю ще раніше.
Many struggle to get healthcare, food and housing.
Да я і тут можу, і в ванні ночую.
Or even to access information about what's happening around them. A convention would mean greater legal protection, attention, support, and redress for older people. It would also help change attitudes towards those who are seen as having lost their value. Even where peace prevails, there are older members of society whose rights are being eroded every day. Many countries don't even have laws that protect older people from abuse. Often, people are forced to retire while they still have a lot to contribute. It's assumed they can no longer keep up with their younger colleagues.
I think societies are too focused on chronological age for retirement. And that means separating older persons from the others. And we need to change that. It is important because every older person is different.
Retirement isn't an easy life for many people. Across much of Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, less than 30% of retirees have a pension, with women having even lower pension coverage.
Αν είχα 10 ευρώ θα ψώνιζα πάρα πολλά πράγματα. 10 ευρώ. Τι άλλο ήθελα.
Ξυπνάω το πρωί με έναν εφιάλτη. Το πώς θα μπορέσω να τα απεξέλθω στα οικονομικά μου και στις υποχρεώσεις μου.
older people are forced to continue working or to rely on their families for support. Amnesty International will keep shedding light on older people's experiences. We'll continue to join forces with other activists. Together, we'll lobby UN member states to speed up the drafting and adoption of a new convention on older people's rights. Let's make sure no one is forgotten and that everyone's rights are protected.